Welcome back. Now it's time for our weekly energy update with Dan McTeague, President of Canadians for Affordable Energy. All yours, Dan.
Well, thank you very much for that, Teresa. And what a week we have seen here at gas pumps across Canada. Everybody is, of course, pinching themselves, if not celebrating the fact that gas prices are on average about 23 cents a liter less than they were this time last year. And so that's critical because if you're filling up 50, 60, 70 liters, you're saving anywhere from $10 to $20 per tank full. For those who use twice a week, that's even greater savings. And the savings seem to have continued throughout the summer. So all in all, we've seen a very beneficial summer for a lot of Canadians. It should take a lot of pressure off inflation. And I would expect that the Bank of Canada will have something to say about this in the next couple of weeks at its next meeting, recognizing that energy prices, which drove up inflation for the past couple of years, as well as government borrowing, has a lot to do with driving down inflation. So it could be good news on the interest rate front, as well as moderating the price of just about everything, since almost everything is impacted by gasoline and diesel. But we shouldn't get too far because ahead of ourselves, because we are getting to see some bumpy movement here this week. Starting on Sunday, that is September the 15th, we switched back from more expensive to make summer blends of gasoline. You'll all recall back in April, we saw this big bump of 10 to 14 cents a liter. Well, the price is going to come down by about 4, maybe even 5 cents a liter. I'm looking at the markets today. The winter blend, which starts on that day and is mandated in Canada, it's done really because it's a lot cheaper for refiners to make, and it allows vehicles better starting when it comes to colder weather, which of course we're starting to experience across the country, save and except maybe a few residual warmer days here. We could still see a net decrease of about a penny, maybe two this week, even though prices are going to go up right until Saturday. By Sunday and into Wednesday, prices should start to trim back down. We're also seeing a phenomenon where a lot of gas stations are shedding their retail margins. It takes 8 or 9 cents a liter to turn on your pumps, to pay for credit cards, to honor those things, loyalty programs, and to pay your staff, and of course, electricity to turn on the pumps. So what we're looking at in British Columbia, for instance, is about a slight movement upwards, 178, maybe 179 by Saturday, but dropping down by Wednesday to $1.75. British Columbia as a whole, about $1.70 down towards $1.60, but remaining in between there, depending on where you are, between Kelowna, Prince George, and many places in the interior. Alberta will see a stagnating price in the 140 range, move up a little bit, and then again move down to about $1.40. So not much change. Ditto for Saskatchewan, always hugging in the $1.50 range, sometimes a little lower, sometimes a little higher. And of course, Manitoba, the cheapest place to buy gasoline in Canada, still in the 132 to 136 range. I'm not expecting much of a change there either, although oil could start to surge if there's any disturbances, either meteorological or geographical or geopolitical, I should say. Ontario, you've seen prices at $1.47, and sometimes some gas stations have been offering for as little as $1.35. Look for those prices to move up at average about 4 or 5 cents a liter. Although the tapering will take place with winter gasoline, it still means that the deals will be fewer and far between. Montreal, Quebec, always 10 cents a liter more expensive, so you're in the 155, 160 range. As for Atlantic Canada, which saw, as I predicted a few days ago, a pretty substantial decrease of 7 cents a liter for Atlantic Canada, that is to say New Brunswick, PEI, and Nova Scotia. And of course, in Newfoundland, I have no idea what the Public Utilities Board is doing. They only gave you a 3-cent decrease. It should have been a lot more than that. I would expect prices next week to drop another 2 cents a liter before they actually go up again. I think this is the last few weeks in which we're going to see these lower prices. I've mentioned that the U.S. presidential election, excuse me, is having a pretty significant impact. Hedgers, traders, money managers, I think are favoring one side. I think it's the Democrats, and they don't want gas prices to pop up. I have a lot of experience in U.S. media and gas prices, given my former job, and a lot of experience in this business for the past 30 or 40 years. I've never seen a presidential election where actors have behaved in a way where they've actually tried to dumb down or drive down the price of energy in order to get a political party elected. It does happen, I'm sure. I'm not naive, but I don't think we should be naive either. It's very clear to me that the large money managers, large hedge funds like Goldman Sachs want the Democrats elected. They do not want the Republicans elected, and they're going to do whatever they can, or have done whatever they can, to drive oil prices down below what is fundamentally reasonable. OPEC and many other nations are scratching their heads saying, what gives? This truly is a dysfunctional market, and there's a lot of command and control in terms of price. What that really means is that a net savings a little bit this week, continue to enjoy these lower than expected prices. Diesel is going to start to make the move up, Teresa. So let's get ready for that. We'll talk a little bit more about that this time next week.